Welcome into Scoop and Score. My name's Tanner, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about a game I haven't seen talked too much about on the national landscape, and that's going to be number 7 USC on the road at number 20 Utah. It's going to be Saturday, October the 15th at 8 p.m. on Fox's primetime game of the week. And to go ahead and get into it, we'll start with the USC offense against the Utah defense. I think USC's offense has looked, quite frankly, great up to this point. But this is going to be by far the best defense and the biggest test they faced up until this point. And it's also going to be the first defense that I think can match up with USC from a talent perspective, and that'll be certainly interesting to watch. But to go ahead and get into the numbers a little bit, USC comes into this game putting up 461.8 yards per game. That's good for the number 25 total offense in the nation. And Utah allows 315.8 yards per game. That's good for the number 22 total defense in the nation. USC puts up 40.2 points per game. That's good for the 15th scoring offense in the nation. Utah allows 19 points per game. That's good for the number 29 scoring defense in the nation. USC puts up 183.3 rushing yards per game, good for 42nd in the nation. Utah is allowing 136.5 rushing yards per game. That's good for 58th in the nation. USC's passing offense, 20th in the nation at 278.5 passing yards per game. Utah's passing defense, 19th in the nation, allowing 179.3 passing yards per game. And the one weakness on USC's offense is that they haven't been great in the red zone. Their red zone efficiency is only 80.6%. And Utah's red zone or opponent red zone efficiency is 77.8%. That's good for 38th red zone defense in the nation. Some players to watch for USC are going to be Jordan Addison, who is he is the best active wide receiver in college football. As an Ohio State fan, I got a little bit of a bias. I would say that Jackson Smith-Njigba is the best overall receiver in college football, but he hasn't played since week 1, so that makes Jordan Addison the best active wide receiver in college football. Another player to watch for USC is obviously Caleb Williams. Everybody knows who Caleb Williams is. I would probably have Caleb Williams second, maybe third in my Heisman list right now. CJ Stroud being first. He's kind of on his own little planet in terms of the Heisman race. But Caleb Williams, if he has a big game in this game, could certainly, I wouldn't say vault CJ Stroud, but he could put himself right back into that top tier, top front runner conversation. Either way, he's going to be in New York, I think, at the end of the year. And then the last player to watch for USC in this game, to me, is going to be Travis Dye, the running back. He's having a pretty good quiet year. He's already at 571 yards, 6.3 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns on the season, so that puts him on pace for right around 1,100 yards and 12 touchdowns on the season, which by all accounts is a pretty solid season for a running back, especially in today's game where most teams, especially West Coast teams, get pretty pass happy. But let's go ahead and switch sides of the ball here. We'll talk about the Utah offense against the USC defense. And I think this is probably going to be the key matchup of the game. If Utah can run or get a lead early and establish a run, I think USC is in big trouble if that happens. USC's rushing stat is worse than it appears, in my opinion. Or USC's rushing stat is, I said it right. USC's rushing stat is worse than it appears on the surface. One watch of USC's film and it jumps off the screen at you that their glaring weakness is their run defense. And they've gotten away with that up to this point because they've been playing with 2-3 touchdown leads and teams have had to throw the ball on them in order to try to catch up. I don't think that's going to happen in this game, and we'll get into that a little bit when I get into the model and my predictions. But I think I think Utah is going to have success running the ball against USC, and that if they're playing with the lead and they're able to run the ball, I think USC is going to have a hard time catching up. I think Utah is going to be able to control the game and slow the game down if that's the case. Some players to watch for Utah are obviously going to be their quarterback, Cam Rising. He hasn't had the best season so far this year. I think a lot of people had him as a dark horse Heisman contender. I wouldn't have been on that list, but he's a solid quarterback. He's also can beat you with his legs, and like I said, USC's rushing defense isn't exactly great, so keep an eye out for Cam Rising. Keep an eye out for Cam Rising's legs. The other player to watch out for Utah, or another player, would be Tavion Thomas, the running back. Again, USC's rushing defense, I think, is a glaring weakness to this team, so watch out for Utah's running back to gash them a little bit. And then the last player to watch out for Utah I have is Dalton Kincaid, the tight end. This is just speaking as a Ohio State fan. He was fun to watch in the Rose Bowl. He's been what you would expect all year this year. And I think Utah is going to be able to exploit him a little bit against the USC defense, especially if they start selling out against the run. So keep an eye out on Dalton Kincaid. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the model projections and predictions a little bit. Before I do, let's go ahead and start with the Vegas line. Vegas has Utah as a 3.5 point favorite at home in this game, which is kind of surprising because USC has been the one getting all the national attention and they're the higher ranked team. But yeah, Utah minus 3.5 in this game, 3.5 point favorite. The over under is at 65. So let's go ahead and jump into the model here. The model has USC projected at 423 total yards, 4.7 yards per carry, 7.7 yards per attempt, 6.4 yards per play, and it has USC scoring 34. The model has Utah projecting at 414 total yards, 4.7 yards per carry, 9.8 yards per attempt, and 6.0 yards per play, and scoring 31, which I think that's kind of interesting that the model thinks Utah is going to be able to throw the ball really well against USC. I see it the other way. I see Utah being able to run the ball for, I don't know if 4.7 yards as a carry is enough. I think Utah could easily get up into 5.5, 6 yards per carry against this USC defense. And I think I've talked about it enough. I'll go ahead and jump into my prediction a little bit here. I'm actually going to go ahead and break trend with the model. Usually I think my model's pretty accurate, but I think the model is wrong in this game. I'm going to go ahead and take Utah 35-27. Again, I think Utah is going to control this game a little bit by being able to run the ball against USC and keep the ball out of USC's hands. And if that happens, if USC has to play from behind, I don't want to say I don't think they can catch up. I think they do have a good offense, but if USC has to play from behind, I don't know that I trust them to come back in this game, how I'd word it. I don't trust their defense to get stops. I do think their offense can score, but I don't trust their defense to get stops, especially if Utah is able to run the ball and control the game. Anyway, yep, give me Utah 35, USC 27, and I think that's going to do it for this one, though. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Give me your scores down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this game. Go ahead and watch for Monday. I will be putting out a full-length podcast reaction to all the games this weekend. Go ahead and watch for that on Monday. I'd appreciate the watch. Again, thanks for watching. Let me know your scores down in the comments. The whole point of this channel is to start a discussion around these games. I love talking about college football. That's going to be it for today, though. Thanks again for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Peace.